Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. Mr. Vesterbacka, we're happy that you are here. We hope our stream will be very useful for our youth. Muraman, it's your turn. Good luck for everyone.
Hello, Peter. My name is
Hey,
Miraman, and it's a pleasure to have you here. It's a big honor for me to be
hey, it's
interviewed.
great to be here. Great to be here.
It's thanks for being here, and let's start things off.
Yes.
So a lot of people would like to know how did you get your start? How did you get into gaming? And how did you get into the internet industry?
Yeah. So I mean, I actually always like playing games, and then I started like long time ago playing games on like when you had these old computers like the Commodore 64 and like all of that. So like back in the 80s, so long time. But anyway, and then always been interested in computers, technology, and all of that. So I have never actually studied any of that kind of like formally, but always been interested in games and in technology. So it's kind of like a hobby for me.
So you were inspired to create games for the children to play with, and
or let's say that actually say like that is one thing, but then also always been interested in kind of like marketing and sales and all of that. So it's not just about, I think that is very important, that it's important to see that it's about creating the products and services, so be it games or anything, but also it's very important to then tell people about them. So it doesn't matter if you make the best product, the best game in the world, if nobody knows about it. So I think that it's always, you have to look at both the creation and the marketing and the sales and everything. So it's all important.
what do you think is the main reason for your success? The whole virality of the game, that it was a hit. Everyone, it was on everybody's phone. What's the success of the?
I think it's a combination of many things. So it's always with any success story, it's not one thing or two things, but you need to get many things right. And I think that if you look at like Angry Birds as one example, it's again, of course, a fantastic game, fantastic characters, fantastic, like gameplay, fantastic marketing, and you have to get many things like right. And I think that is true when you look at most success stories kind of like out there, that it's always about not one thing, but many things that you need to get right. So that is, it's very important. And again, I think also always been kind of like an entrepreneur. So I think it's also about like enjoying doing things. That's what kind of like entrepreneurs to me are, people who do things.
Enjoy the process. That's what they say.
Yes, very good. Yeah.
You've been developing games since 2003, and why did you choose the main thing of your game to be birds? Like, why birds?
Yeah, so actually, so as I said, I have always been interested in games, always been playing games. But then Rovio as a company started in 2003, and that came out of a game making competition that I organized. And then Niklas, Kim, and Jarno, so three young guys who were studying here at Aalto University in Helsinki, they took part in that competition and they actually won it. And then they came to me and asked me that, okay, like now what? We won this game making competition. What should we do? And I said that my recommendation, and it's like also for you and for everybody, that you should always do what you love to do. And it was very clear that they loved not only playing games, but also making games. So I said, why don't you start a company to do what you love, which was, like making games. And that's what they did. And they actually started the company 2003. And then they made over the following 6 years, 51 games. And then the 52nd game was Angry Birds. And if you then look at, okay, why birds, why pigs and all of that, that actually came from Jaakko Iisalo, so one of the game designers at Rovio. So he had been drawing these bird characters for many years. And then everybody, when he was pitching a new, he was promoting a new game idea in the company, then everybody fell in love with the characters. They didn't really like get the game idea that he was pitching, but everybody said that we have to build a game around those birds. So that's actually how the bird characters came about. And this is also a great example that when you talk about games and making games, it's not typically not one person, it's a team effort. It's many people are needed. I mean, somebody that draws the character, somebody does the programming, somebody does the music, like the music that everybody knows and loves in Angry Birds was done by Ari Pulkkinen, who is, local composer, and, he's made fantastic music for many games, and Angry Birds is, of course, the most well-known. But again, team effort, many people, and then then why not birds? So I think that's kind of like one way of looking at it. Yeah.
Fair enough. But why did they fall in love? What was the main thing that they fell in love with the characters? Obviously, you have Red and the.
Yeah, but I think that it's one of these things. I mean, okay, you take Angry Birds, or you take like Mickey Mouse, or you take Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty, from Japan, everybody loves that cat character. But then Sanrio has 200 or I don't know how many other like hundreds of characters. But for some reason, everybody loves that one, cat character. And I think it's the same with Angry Birds, that it's, I think, impossible to say why, a particular character then turns out to be, kind of like loved by everybody. So I think that it's that's kind of like part of the magic, and it's very difficult to predict that okay, this character will be super popular like Angry Birds or Mickey Mouse, and then some characters, even though I mean they're beautiful design and they look very like nice, but then again very difficult to say why a particular character then becomes the Mickey Mouse, the Angry Birds, the Hello Kitty.
Yeah, and initially, what age group was the game targeted at?
All ages.
Every single age from
everybody. Yeah, there's no like particular target, so that was not like part of the design or anything like that. That it's like for everybody.
Yeah, but how was another commonly asked question is how was the game created? Everyone wants to know how was the game created.
So 12 people work in the company, and then as I said, like team effort. So Jaakko Iisalo did the character design, and then like the sound effects, the laughter that you hear from the pigs and all that was created after like a few drinks at the office, and then like the team doing those things. So that's like the team actually there producing those sound effects. Ari Pulkkinen did famous like Angry Birds like soundtrack, so that's by Ari. So again, team effort, that's like how it works. And I think that that's very typical for all game development efforts.
Are you like still involved with the Angry Birds?
I left Angry Birds and Rovio in 2016, so I haven't been involved with that day to day since then. So right now I'm working on many different companies, different projects, some in games. So for example, I'm working with a company called Big Ear Games, so making fun learning games for music. So that is something that you can find in the App Store, and then involved with some other game studios as well. And then, basically as advisor, investor. So that is what I do nowadays. So working with many different games companies, but not involved with Rovio or Angry Birds anymore.
Your nickname was the Mighty Eagle.
Yes.
What's the origin of that?
It's the most powerful character in the game. So that was kind of like when I started working full time at Rovio, then always believed that you need to have titles. So that was actually my official title on my business card, was the Mighty Eagle. And if you look at the game, the Mighty Eagle is the most powerful character in the game. If you have a problem clearing a level, then you call on the Mighty Eagle, and then in one shot the level is gone. So it's like a silver bullet to get you out of trouble.
Yeah, that's really cool. Actually, that has a symbolic meaning to it. But
Yeah.
with that said, what was the initial investment into the Angry Birds?
The game itself, I mean, probably less than 100,000 euros initially to make that. I mean, there are 12 people in the company and all that, but I mean, you also have to keep in mind that Rovio had been working on games for 6 years by that time. So you could say that everything, then the time, the money, the effort leading up to that was kind of like, learning how to make games. So it's then you could say that, the investment into that particular game was not so much, but then if you look at like time and money and everything leading up to the creation of Angry Birds, the 6 years, the 51 games, so it's kind of like difficult to put a price on that.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a child, the first game I got on my phone was the Angry Birds game, because
very nice.
I saw my cousins play it all the time, and I think
very good.
a lot of the people that I grew up with and my generation, I think most of them have been playing that game, and all of them are familiar with it. But with that said, what is the future for gaming, in your opinion? What is
but I think that gaming is doing great, and there's a lot of potential to grow it, further. And also, if you look at now what has happened during the COVID-19, pandemic, that games companies are doing extremely well because people are, bored, stuck at their, homes, and of course, then you need entertainment. So games are doing great, and I think that. There is a lot of room to grow that market, and games are already bigger than movies, bigger than music, bigger than anything else in entertainment. So it's kind of like the biggest part of the entertainment industry, and I think that we will see that grow even further. So you could even say that there's nothing bigger than games.
Yeah, I'm sure. You think the format of the games is going to shift more towards the Fortnite Battle Royale in that kind of stuff?
I mean, of course. I mean, these things kind of like like come and go. I think that, I mean, if you look at Fortnite, that's of course massive hit, and same time you had PUBG, that's still also like a big hit many places, and then Minecraft, and I think that there's lots of these kind of like phenomenons, and many of them are of course stronger than ever. But I think that's again, there also will be like the next Angry Birds, the next Fortnite, and that's kind of like nature of the industry, nature of the entertainment industry, that there's constant development, and there's new innovation happening like all the time. So I think that what you will see is more like capable devices, bigger screens, more processing power, more sensors, more capabilities that can be used in games.
Yeah.
And I think that also you will see more we'll see innovation. I mean, a great example of the kind of things that can really have a huge impact, or you take like Pokemon Go. That's also like a nice, example of how you can make use of the mobility and the fact that we're talking about mobile devices. So I think that you will see more of those kind of things as well. So I think that there's lots of opportunity to innovate, and a lot of we can expect to see many new, let's say, forms of games, and we will see many new success stories as well.
Yeah. Are you aware of the current situation between Fortnite and the Apple Store? Do you know what's going on?
Yes, of course.
What's your opinion on that?
Will be like interesting to see. I think that it's not like exactly like a win-win situation, but maybe more like a lose-lose situation. I mean, we also did a little bit of that kind of activity, like trying to level the playing field when it comes to like the distribution and the app store. So when we launched Angry Birds on Android the first time, we actually launched that together with a company called GetJar. So they had like an app store that was like alternative to the Google Play Store. But I think that it's again the ecosystem owners, Apple, Google, they are in a very strong position, and if they don't want to do something, then they won't. And I mean, of course, 30% to charge for distribution. It's it's a high percentage, but at the same time, it used to be even worse. So now it's like the 70-30 revenue share between developers and the ecosystem owners like Apple and Google. So it's a lot of money, but at the same time, it's not as bad as it used to be. So we'll see how this Epic and Apple struggle will, and that's actually Google is part of that as well. I think that it remains to be seen. I think it's tough for Epic to win that, but we'll see how it will turn out. But there is pressure to kind of open up and level the playing field. So I think that we'll see. But it's really tough to say how it will play out in the end.
Have you ever experienced any difficulties with App Store and Google being a game?
But of course, there's always challenges and all that. But I've been around for a while, so I remember that it used to be much more difficult before the App Store. So I think that the App Stores are kind of fairly easy to deal with. So they have their own particular rules, and you just kind of you don't have much choice unless you are Epic or somebody like that. But most developers have no choice but to follow kind of the rules. So I think that probably we'll see that situation continue.
Coming back to the topic of Angry Birds.
Yeah.
How long did it take for the game to go viral? How long have you waited for it to blow up?
It didn't happen very quickly. Basically, the game came out 11th of December 2009, became #1 in Finland, then in Sweden, then Apple took note, featured it in the UK and the US, and then it kind of took off. So first 12 months, 50 million downloads, and then over Christmas 2010, I did 25 million because everybody got new, Android and iPhones and stuff like that. So, and then we hit 100 million in March 2011, and nowadays it's over 4 billion. So I could say that it was a reasonably slow ramp, but also a few less phones and let's say a bit smaller market back then. So I think that it's always looking now 10 years back, of course the market was different, and also not everybody was playing games. So you still had gamers and non-gamers. Now we don't really have that kind of distinction too much anymore. Everybody plays games, and it doesn't make or anything like that. So
yeah.
So I think that's but yeah, I think that again, it took a while, but then when it took off pretty nicely. So yeah.
Yeah. So you were in Uzbekistan this March.
Yes.
And how did you find the trip?
Well, it's very nice. So it was my first time in Uzbekistan, and it was really a very good trip. I was only there for a day and a half, so it was very short. But I really had a good time and met with lots of people. And probably I would have been back by now, but of course then the COVID pandemic, of course, is not helping things there. But it was really nice.
You should definitely stay longer next time. But talking about people, how did you find the youngsters in Uzbekistan? What's your impression of them?
I was actually very impressed. So I think that we had very good dialogue. I gave a few talks at the schools and universities there, and very good discussion, very good interaction. So it was very impressive. And we talked a lot about also. Being from Finland, we have what is one of the best, educational systems anywhere in the world. So also talking about the fact that we would love to see more students from Uzbekistan here in the Finnish universities, Finnish high schools, and all of that. So hopefully we can kind of like now, after we get through this crisis, I think that would be fantastic to see more students from Uzbekistan come to Finland, and also, I mean, the other way around. So I think that there's we're practically neighbors. I mean, it's a very short distance actually when you start looking at the map. So hopefully we can also get like direct flights going. So that would be important.
What advice would you give young aspiring entrepreneurs that are looking to generate profit?
Yeah, I mean, the same advice that I gave to Niklas, Kim, and Jarno when they, won this game making competition. When they asked me the same, and I have the same answer that you should do what you love to do. So I mean, if you love making games, then why don't you start a company to do that, or whatever your passion, is. I think it's important to pursue that. And what I also always say is that there are very few things in life that actually are impossible. So I think it's important to, dream big, follow your dreams, and go out there and make it happen. So I think that this is something that, again, really encourage all, young people and actually all people in Uzbekistan that, I mean, you should follow your dream. And if, 3 young guys here in Helsinki in Finland can make Angry Birds, there's no reason why, 3 young guys or girls in Tashkent, couldn't do the same, or like anywhere in Uzbekistan or anywhere in the world. So I think that this is something that is very important. That it's all about doing, and I think that is for me, what entrepreneurship is all about. That it's about doing things, and it's about ambition. It's about attitude. So that's very important. So don't be afraid of thinking big and dreaming big, and then going out there and like making it real.
You've been in the industry for a while now, and did you experience any moments where like you were about to give up, or you were about to lose faith in the project?
No, not really. I think that I also, because of the experience that I have this kind of like patience there, that I think that also seeing that typically, you might not succeed like immediately, but I mean, you give it a bit of time, eventually you will. So I'm kind of like this eternal optimist that I think that, just stay at it, and then, you'll get there. So I think that's also like for an entrepreneur, that is an important characteristic, that you don't give up easily. And also that, there are very few overnight success stories. I mean, take Angry Birds, 51 games, 6 years, and then the 52nd game was Angry Birds. It wasn't the first, it wasn't the second, not even the third, but the 52nd game. And I think that this is true in most businesses, that it requires a bit of time and work and all that. So it's not like winning the lottery, that you actually have to put in a bit of effort and time to get there, and then you just keep at it, and then you have to believe, or you have to know that you will be successful at some point.
That's true. There's a question asking that how many types of products are currently on the market under the Angry Birds brand?
I have no idea, but I mean, probably not as many as there used to be, but we had thousands and thousands of different products at some point. So there's been thousands of different Angry Birds products, everything from, soft drinks to activity parks. So it's like a very wide variety of different like products. So, but yeah, I don't know idea of the exact number currently.
Yeah, that must be a lot. Do they generate a lot of revenue? Do they generate a lot of income?
Yeah, I mean, it used to be like half the business was like in non-games related, business. So everything from animation to, consumer products. But I think nowadays it's mainly the games business. So that's kind of like the main thing. But as I said, I mean, I'm not involved in the day-to-day operations. So again, I don't have the exact numbers.
Yeah, there's another question asking, how can you describe yourself in a nutshell?
Oh, I'm an entrepreneur.
That's all they need to know.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But then, being an entrepreneur, like it's important to never give up. Is that what's more important for you?
I think that, but I think that's like for entrepreneurs, and it's like important in life. That I think that I think that's important kind of like characteristic, and also I mean then it's about how you deal with failure and like all of that. That I mean you learn from your mistakes, from the failures, and then how I deal with that of course you make lots of mistakes, and you have when you do new things more often than not, the new things fail, but then like you keep at it, and eventually you will not fail and you will be successful. And I think that then to deal with failure, that then you learn, and then you forget, and you kind of like move on. So I think it's important not to kind of like stop and dwell and like start with this, that I didn't like succeed with this, and like I will, and then you get into this very negative like spirit. So I think that it's important to kind of like believe and know that okay, you will be successful, and just need to kind of like keep at it. And I think that's also what it's a very important characteristic for any entrepreneur, that you have to believe that you will be successful.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Mm-hmm.
And how long did it take you to develop Angry Birds?
Angry Birds was 12 people, 8 months done. So that's but it's again. I mean, if you look at games, I mean, you have games. Some games take 5 years to make. Some games take 5 weeks. So it really depends on the game, of course, nowadays. That like how long does it take, and how many people, and like all of that. But yeah, I think that there is no kind of like, let's say, normal in there. It really depends on the game and the team and all of that. But yeah, with Angry Birds back then it was 8 months and 12 people.
Yeah, what is the longest? What type of games are it takes the longest time to make?
Oh, I mean, if you look at the big big console games, I mean, they can take years and years. But I mean, also like another Finnish studio, they just came out with this Ocean Horn. Actually, they did that Ocean Horn, original 5 years ago, I think. And then now they came out with Ocean Horn 2, and that took about 5 years for them to make. And it's kind of like it's a big like game. And I think that then that kind of game can take like 5 years. And then if you make something more casual and mobile, then it could take the fastest studios. If you look at these like hyper casual games, it can be a matter of weeks to get something out. So it really depends. But yeah, big console games and big like mobile games can take like 5 years, 10 years even. So it's so then you better like be successful, because it's big. It's a little bit like a big movie production, that it can take many years and cost hundreds of millions. So it increases kind of like the risk. So it's not many people can afford the time and the money to make those kind of like projects.
Well, was there ever a focus group that you once tested Angry Birds with? Like, did you take?
Not really. I mean, I think that at Rovio we always believe that in making games that we love ourselves, and not building that for like various focus groups or anything like that. So we didn't really do any focus groups or any testing like that. Okay, later on, yeah, we did some of that for some of the other games, but I think that it's also it's also very like game specific, and company specific on how you like develop your products.
What is the future of Angry Birds in gaming, in your opinion?
Yeah, I don't know about like the future Angry Birds. I'm not like involved in that anymore. But I think that just if I look at gaming, I think that there is a very bright future, and there is lots of opportunity to grow and lots of opportunity to create fantastic new games. So I think that that's the way I look at gaming, that it's off to a good start. But I mean, there's a lot more that we can do, like in games. So it's a good place to be.
Yeah, that's certainly true. What is the most promising genre of a game, in your opinion?
I would say all. I mean, like the thing there is that but if you look at them kind of like from platform kind of like perspective and all that, then I think that there is nothing that is like bigger than mobile. But then if you take many of the games currently, and I mean, it was actually the same with Angry Birds, that then it's about being on all screens, mobile, console, PC, you name it. And I think that is looking at it from like a platform perspective, that you want to be everywhere. Then with the genres, I think that there's opportunity everywhere, and it's more about not so much about the genre, but it's about like the making the best possible game, no matter which platform, which genre. That it's all about making great games in the end.
What are the plans? What are your plans for the future? What do you plan to do in the future?
My plans. I mean, I will just keep working on like many different things. So it's not just like games, but as I said, I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm working on many different projects, and I think that right now. I think that there's a lot of opportunity in bringing games and education together. So I'm looking at a lot about at least like fun learning and making learning fun. And I think that we can do a lot by bringing together the best pedagogues and the best game designers. So I think there's lots of opportunity in there. And in general, I think that there's a lot that we can do around education. I mean, it's a massive market, and it clearly like there's a lot of opportunity to make learning more fun and make education better. So I think that's a very interesting area.
Yeah. In order for the game to be known worldwide, you have to promote it. How much do companies spend on average in marketing?
Let's say that I would say that a lot. Is probably like the best way to answer it, but it really depends, and I think that many of most of the games nowadays are free to play, and that is very data and analytics driven. So I would say that besides answering a lot, it's also like as much as they can. So once you figure out how to make user acquisition, so you pay like $1 and you make $2, of course then it makes sense to invest as much as you can into marketing and user acquisition, because you will make more money. So I think that is one way of looking at it. So there's kind of like no limit to it, and the most successful games companies, they spend hundreds and hundreds of millions on marketing. So, but then they also make billions. So, but of course, yeah. So it's like as much as they can is kind of like maybe the best answer I can give.
Yeah, marketing is really important in a game. I think
yes,
it's the biggest. It's the biggest area where a lot of money goes into.
Yes,
but that's all the questions I have for you.
Okay. Thank
you so much for being here, and it was really an honor to be interviewing here. I'm really thankful for the opportunity, and thank you
Thank you.
Mr. Peter. Mr. Peter.
Yes.
Your last wishes to our young generation.
No, I think that the most important thing is that you do what you love, and then also that you go out there and do things. So I think that great ideas and great thoughts without action are just that. They're just great ideas. So I think that it's important that you then go out there and make them real. So do what you love is very important.
Thank you, Mr. Peter Ramon. Thank you for the great session. Okay,
Nice to be here.
see you in
Thank you.
Uzbekistan.
Yeah, hey, I'm looking
Thank
forward
you.
to seeing you. Yeah.
You should
Thank
really come
you.
soon.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
so
will,
much.
I will.
Thank you for being here.
Welcome to Finland and Helsinki too. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.